welcome to The Ring Is Chosen. I'm Clifford, and with me,
I'm Crystal, and our director can't count.
Thank you for joining us for another wonderful week of geekery and, well, just good old comic-loving solidarity. We got a lot to talk about this week. We are loving movies, and we're going to start with Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
I am full of giggles tonight, and I can't help it. I'm so sorry.
We knocked back a couple of bottles of wine before we got it started. What was it called? Cambria 2011, but from California?
It was something like Carnivorous. That was the name.
Oh, Carnivorous.
Or something
Carnivorous. I'm not big on California wines for a myriad of reasons. Check out my personal blog if you're a friend. But the point is, it was good, and now we're toasty. So Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
I want to point out that I am not toasty, but you two are ridiculous. It's because I drink every week, and I have a higher.
You didn't see Crystal freaking out about Pokemon a little while ago. But you will again soon, and then you judge for yourself.
I don't even need to drink to freak out about Pokemon. I just really love them.
It just doesn't help with a little splash of alcohol. So
great.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, everybody knows we're alcoholics.
We are not alcoholics. It was only a bottle or two.
It was a bottle. And Clifford drank half of it. I only had a glass or two.
Okay, only one person in the whole room had one. Actually, only one person in the whole store had one glass, and they're not even in this room. So 3 people would knock back a whole bottle.
I feel confident about my abilities. Captain America is coming out next week. I am excited, but not as excited as the Spider-Man movie, of course.
And I'm excited about Captain America way more than Crystal because, well, Chris Evans. So.
Oh wait, no. I am really excited because of this one particular thing. There is a lenticular poster for this movie. It is Captain America's shield, and it's 3D. It's a movie poster, and some of the movie theaters have them, and I want one, and I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one. I don't care what I have to do. I am getting a lenticular Captain America poster, and I'm not paying for it.
Crystal is going to dress up as a Black Widow and seduce her way into getting one of those posters.
I'm not seducing anyone. I'm going to get it my own way.
That sounds like seduction to me. Or a shiv, one or the other. Crystal will do it. She's tiny. So.
Oh, speaking of tiny, I'm not sitting on my my usual stool today because it hurts my back and hip. And I am an old woman. And
of 24.
I'm older than 24.
26.
I am 26. But everybody's going to have to kind of deal with it because it hurts. Tough shit. Sorry.
Until we get her a better stool. I want to get her one with a crank.
Oh, yes, like a dentist chair or something?
Yes, it'll be awesome. That's when we have a real budget. Maybe we'll do a Kickstarter.
Oh, that would be a good idea.
Maybe some of you
Think
will care.
Think about what really cool things we can do.
I don't know. Maybe if our audience will actually talk to us. More than 3 of them.
Yeah.
Hi.
Huh. Nobody has added me on Twitter. Not one person. Except for Sean. Sorry, Sean, you are a person. I counted you.
Thank you, Sean.
More than one other person.
Well, maybe that one guy who's also Sean's friend.
That one guy that Sean's friend didn't add me.
He will add you, probably.
Other guy that's Sean's friend?
Unless you decided you're not worthy.
I am worthy. Please add me. I'm desperate. Okay, comic books. Oh wait, I made promises last week that I'm going to break.
We made lots of promises that we've already broken.
We don't keep our promises.
We try to keep our promises.
We don't keep them.
We haven't started book club yet. That's coming.
Speaking of book club, I told you guys last week I was going to read Batman Heart of Hush.
Not yet.
And Fight Club.
Didn't happen.
I didn't read Fight Club. But I did read Batman Heart of Hush. I did read this. And I read Pride of Baghdad instead because I picked it up and I just ran out of time. So I'm going to talk about this one after.
Because it's emotionally crippling.
Because it's emotionally crippling. Batman Heart of Hush. Excellent story. Solid. I liked it.
It's Paul Dini.
It's Paul Dini. Not Paul Dini.
Paul Dini.
Paul Dini.
From Batman the Animated Series. Creator of Harley Quinn. Let's not forget that.
It's true. And we had Catwoman in here who gets taken away and her heart gets taken out. And Batman's crushed because he loves her. Or Selena Gomez.
Selena Kyle.
Kyle, holy shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, solid story. Pick it up. Go read it. That's all I'm telling you. Because I'm not going to ruin it.
him.
Because I feel like a trade I shouldn't ruin.
Like the ambiance that's destroying us all.
Yeah, that, and I feel like it's a trade, so it's more than...
It's involved. So if you're not familiar with the story, go pick it up.
On the
And it's
other
Paul
hand-
Dini. It's going to be beautiful.
On the other hand, Pride of Baghdad. I read this on the train to New York City while sitting in a two-seater with someone sitting very close next to me that I did not know.
Who started crying with you?
And this woman sitting next to me had the Bible.
Oh my.
So I'm trying to read this book, and I don't, not that I'm judging, but I was like, I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable, so I'm trying to read this, and I'm reading the book, and as it goes on, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is really kind of sad. Oh my God, this is horrible. And I'm like, I started to cry on the train, and this lady's like giving me the side eye, and I'm like trying to make it seem like I had like a stuffy nose. But I was really crying because everybody died. And it was so sad. Because it's based in, guess where it's based? Baghdad. And, because it's the name of the book. But, I'm getting emotional talking about it. I don't even know how to talk about it. The story was excellent because it is so moving. But the whole Pride, the lions, they escape from a zoo, but they only escape because it's blown up by bombs. And a lot of the animals die, and all the animals in the book can speak. So this small pride of lions is now moving through Baghdad, and they're excited because they're finally free, but the war is still going on, and bombs are going off, and all the other animals are kind of interacting, so you have the domesticated interactions, and then the wild start kicking in. So they kind of start killing each other, but then they remember that some of them are friends, and they make deals. So it's a really convoluted kind of interaction. And then there's a whole scene where the lions have to kill a bear, and they have to figure out how to work together, and that's really sad. And then at the end of this whole thing, they climb a mountain of rubble, and they're looking for the horizon, like they would find on the safari. Safari?
Yeah,
Desert,
in the
wherever,
safari.
whatever.
The jungle safari, yeah.
So they finally get to the top, and then, I'm going to spoil it, they all get shot down by American soldiers, including the little cub who just wanted to see the horizon. And he got to see the horizon, but he was shot. And then the last panel is the American soldiers saying, oh, the lions rushed at me, I had no other choice. And they didn't. They were just sitting there, and these soldiers just shot them all down. They just killed them. And it was very upsetting. And you know how I like to think of like other things other than storyline, and it's kind of...
It's a beautiful story.
It's a beautiful story, and it's kind of like the lions aren't lions, they're people, and once you start thinking like that, it just gets even worse, and I don't even want to even start getting into that, because we'll sit here for hours and talk about that, and I really don't think it's appropriate for the podcast. But the Ryan, how do you say his last name?
Brian K. Vaughan.
Brian K. Vaughan is excellent.
As you know, he wrote Why the Last Man.
Yes, which is also another heart-wrenching story, also excellent. That one was, I think there was eight trades?
Yep.
8 or 12 trades, I don't know why, those two numbers stick in my head.
Maybe it's 12.
I think it's either 8 or 12, I can't remember.
It is really lengthy.
But it's very lengthy, but the story is so great, and it's got a heart-wrenching end as well. So he just really knows how to take your heart, squeeze it, and then stomp on it.
This is a beautiful, layered tale.
Yes.
To me.
So great.
Because it is full of content, and it is full of nuance.
And the artistic value of this
Is beautiful.
is amazing. There's just too many good things. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. So everybody really should try to pick this up.
I had a feeling you were going to love it, and I was just like, you'll enjoy that. And then I'm like,
I'm
yep.
glad I read it on the train in public, because if I didn't, oh my god.
You'd be bawling at home.
I'd be bawling
hugging
at
Ted.
home.
You're like, Ted!
My cat would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, the poor cat. The poor cat. He loves it. He loves it. So, everybody please go read this. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't read Fight Club because I don't think it would be been as quite as moving as this book.
No, of course. I would have and it probably would have diminished.
Yeah,
and then in turn, this would have diminished anything you would have gotten out of that.
I read this as soon as I got on the train, and it was like 20 minutes to a half an hour later I finished. And I still had like an hour and a half to go.
And you're like, what just happened?
I literally just stared out the window the entire time contemplating life. And then I started thinking about this woman next to me with the Bible, and I was like, I wonder if I should talk to her about God. And I almost asked her I almost started a conversation, but she got off. That's what it did to me. It is what it did to me.
That's rough. I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was excellent. So, did you read anything this week?
I don't even want to talk about it
Okay.
because it's really stressful. I did read something interesting this week. I'm going to just say very quickly. CBR, Comic Book Resources, has a 2-part interview with Phil Jimenez that went up over the week. That was awesome. That everyone should go check out if they haven't. And the links are up on our Facebook page. And I loved it, and it dealt with race and sexuality, and his 2 years writing and drawing Wonder Woman, and, you know, it was brilliant and authentic, and, you know...
And we love Phil Jimenez.
We do love him, but you know what, I told him this on Twitter, and he did respond to me, and which I was excited about, which is, I love his interviews because he's so authentic.
Yes.
Because everything in the interview was so, like, serious and just honest.
He's a wonderful advocate, too.
But in general...
He's a really, like, great friend, and he's like a person you would want to hang out with every day because he's just so, like you said, he's authentic, he's real, and you don't have to worry about him saying something and not meaning it.
Right, he is going to say what he means, and it's not, you know, it's not about being perfect. He is just, you know, he's just very clear about his point of view, where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I think it's great.
He's very articulate.
And he's definitely very articulate.
And I love that.
You know? And you know what I love? He is definitely one of those people who's always about, like, I'm learning something new every day. I'm expanding every day. You know?
Yeah.
You know, he's like, he wants to be a better writer all the time. He wants to be a better artist all the time. And I already think that he's marvelous
He is wonderful.
in my eyes. But I think it's so beautiful when he's like, you know, I see so-and-so who's so talented, and I see...
I want to meet up with him because I really want him to get me to do a piece.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, you know, if you're lucky, I mean, he does there's so many times where he's just somewhere and you can get a headshot, and it's just amazing. You know, and it's just like, I mean, not one piece have I seen Phil do, even a quick headshot, where it hasn't just been an explosion.
It's all awesome.
It's all awesome. But yeah, it's a beautiful interview on CBR, and you should totally check it out, and I'm really serious about that, and please find the links on our site.
Excuse me, sorry.
We did get into Pride of Baghdad. I do want to talk just movie news this week, because I want to backtrack to it for half a second, because we got a lot of, not necessarily feedback, but a lot of traffic to our Facebook page from the reveals of Hawkeye versus Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch from Avengers 2 on the Facebook page, and the trailer for X-Men Days of Future Past.
Which is excellent, and I have the posters for that, which I'm going to try and get up for our next podcast.
And we're going to try and get some frames, so it's going to be good.
So it's going to look good.
Get me the measurements so we can pop them up behind us. It'll be beautiful. And then next week we'll go see Captain America, and then hopefully come back.
And the week after that is Spider-Man.
Oh my! It's really back to back.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in rough
I'm just warning you all
shape.
now.
She'll be out of her mind.
I'm gonna be. I'm sorry.
More.
I'm not sorry.
More than Pokemon.
More than Pokemon.
Crystal's just gonna come in a spider hoodie, spider hat. She's gonna be like.
I really. I really am actually.
She's Spider-Man!
I'm gonna figure out how to rig some webs up here so I can.
I'm just gonna get you web shooters, like with the silly string, and you're gonna be like.
I'm so excited. I'm really excited too because Peter Parker is back already.
Oh, in the comic, we're going to get to that.
He's back.
But that was... Oh, and the last movie news, they finally released a trailer for Dwayne Johnson as Hercules.
Oh!
Yes.
That's going to be great. There was a new movie that came out with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
You heard anything about it?
I did, and you know what? It's not phasing because he doesn't have the impact he has on me now as he did when I was a kid in the 80s.
He's just so...
It's not the same.
Yeah, done.
I don't want to say
Like-
done. It's just not the same.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Dwayne Johnson's been around for a while too, but he still holds some
Okay,
wow factor.
it's also not the same age range, and Hercules has a really nice execution. You know, I'm sorry. I mean,
It's a really big movie here.
It is a big movie, and I'm sure there's some great. I mean, we got Guardians of the Galaxy coming too.
Those posters are also amazing.
I am sure there's something out there for somebody who wants to see Arnold's movie. It just doesn't hold anything for me because I want to see. You know, are the action adventure movies that are already lined up for us to see, like Spider-Man and Cap and whatever. But Dwayne Johnson doing the whole Hercules thing, the trailer looks much better than I thought. I was really ready to be just bogged down to see more 300 style crap. I was like, so my bar.
Did you see that the new 300 movie?
Yeah.
Are you interested in it? Okay.
You know,
Hold on.
there's one scene I was interested in, but you know, I could have just bootlegged it. So anyhow.
We don't bootleg anything.
No, we don't bootleg anything. I could have.
Could have.
I did not. Let's be very clear. So, look at me. I did not.
I'm sure he didn't. Speaking of video games and movies.
Yeah.
Scribblenauts.
Oh, you're discovering it for the first time.
Well, I haven't played it yet, but I just saw an ad for it in a comic book, and
And you're like, why haven't I heard of this?
Why have I heard of this, and why don't I have it? So it's got like little figures with it, and you know.
Well, not with it. But
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's like that's just a thing.
Okay, speaking of figures, I know I'm going on a complete tangent. I bought a video game, and it had those Funko Pop. It had a Batman in it, and I only bought the game. I haven't played the game. I only bought it for the Funko Pop guy.
What game is it?
It's a Batman Lego game, but the little guy glows in the dark. And I bought this thing at Christmas. It's now March, and I've had it out on my dresser, and I didn't realize it until 2 nights ago that it was glowing in the dark. I'm like, what is that?
And soon Crystal realized she could play the game.
And then, now I have to play the game, but because I love toys. You know I love toys. And I just, like, it's not, I don't often buy them because I get so cluttered. So that's why I do the toy of the week, because these are things that I would buy if I had space.
And
But,
money.
And money.
And space.
Space mostly, because I don't like clutter.
Don't worry, one day Crystal will have money in her own crystal cave in the house. Some people have the man
No,
cave.
hold on, let's talk about it. I'm going to have my entire house. That's what I'm going to need. I don't need, like, a room. I'm going to need an entire house.
Somehow I think your significant other would have a problem with the whole house.
I don't think...
I think the crystal cave would be
She
very
would.
big.
I don't think she would. I think she'd just... I think she would. No, I think she would.
Yeah, I think, if the crystal cave were a very big section of the house, that would be one thing. If
Okay,
the,
she can have one room, the bathroom, and the entire...
No, you can't buy a house together and it work that way. It's going to be very bad.
No, I really think I can have my way
No.
all the time.
Nope.
I really hope she watches
Nope.
this.
No. No.
And I lied. I don't want
Yeah.
her to watch this.
No. Yeah, that's more accurate. That would be bad.
Oh my god, earthquake! Ah! No, Rich, just take the camera.
Oh.
It's okay. He can't count.
He looks in pain, too.
He's just a big baby. Are we going to talk about comic books at any point?
Well, we talked about comic book related things, which is important because that's what we're about.
But I'm eager because you know why I want to talk about it.
Okay, go to it.
The Spider-Man. Can we please talk
Oh
about
my
that
God,
first?
let's just talk
Because
about
I will
Spider-Man.
sit here and I'm gonna just twitch.
We will. Let's just.
We just need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because Peter Parker is finally back. And
Yeah.
I don't care if it's in a heart-wrenching...
It was heart-wrenching, Crystal. It was heart-wrenching.
I don't care. I do not care at all. No.
It doesn't bother you at
Peter
all.
Parker is back. No.
Oh.
Because he's
Oh.
a jerk face.
Oh, really?
Really.
Really?
Really.
Do you think the Joker should die?
Do I think the Joker should die?
Yeah.
I do not think the Joker should die.
Really? But it's okay for Otto to die.
He's not dead. He's gonna come back.
Oh, but the Joker can just come back whenever
The Joker did not take over Batman's body.
He crippled Barbara Gordon. He murdered Jason
Which
Todd.
made-
He kidnapped and shot Jim Gordon's wife during the whole Gotham
Do you know
earthquake.
what? That is what drives the Batman.
Oh, and Spider-Man isn't driven by his villains?
Yeah.
That's important? No?
Octavius took over his body.
Mm.
No. I don't care. He's not dead. All I care about is Peter Parker is back and we have Spider-Man.
You feel he's not dead.
He's not dead.
As far as we know, Otto's dead. I'm saying she's like giddy. She's like giddy for Otto to die.
No, I am giddy because Peter Parker finally has his body back.
Right, but it doesn't bother you at all that Otto had to make a gut-wrenching sacrifice to do it.
Because he took over his body and all his memories and all that shit. Even though he tried to do good, I don't care. No.
I'm saying I agree with her. I just think it's ridiculous that she doesn't agree with me. It's okay I think it's fine that Otto dies because he's a horrible human being for what he did to Peter. I'm just saying, why isn't the Joker a horrible human being who should equally be gone?
Because the Joker is, in my opinion, the biggest Batman villain. I don't think Octavius is.
I'm just saying.
He might have pulled off a really big heist, but he's not the biggest
literal
villain.
Heist of his life.
Literally. But he's not the biggest villain that can drive the story. If we get rid of the Joker and Batman, that's that's like 3/4 of Batman's.
It doesn't matter because
It does matter.
It does because anybody in the DC, 90% of the DC universe can bring the Joker back. I'm just saying, he deserves to die.
Yes, he does deserve to die. But if we're talking now, if they're bringing them back, when I say dead, I mean gone.
Yeah, well, as far as we know, Otto's dead.
But he's not.
But he is. His body's dead, and now this is dead. The mental.
Do you know how did they bring him back? They hooked him up to that damn machine again that took the brains and fluffed him away. So you know it's a computer.
He probably stored himself somewhere.
He's stored somewhere in there.
Yeah, he could
He's not gone. It's not like a complete. No, it's not.
It feels that way, though.
It absolutely does not feel that way, Clifford.
No, I mean I'm saying it feels like he stored himself in the computer. It feels
like
way.
he stored himself in the computer. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, of course...
And comparing the Joker and Dr. Octavius is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, why? They're monstrous people for what they've done.
Joker on the evil scale...
It's probably it's super high.
Up here. Dr. Octavius is like down here. You can't even...
You know what? I'm just picking fun because I am on such a Joker hatred kick this week that I want any opportunity to hate on him. So I just went for it. It's a really great issue, though. Peter's back.
Peter is back.
You'll feel the feels. How can you not feel the feels?
You feel the feels.
You felt the feels even though you didn't want to. You know it.
Actually, I felt no feels because I've been hitting this book.
But I know you felt double feels.
I'm feeling feels because I have Peter Parker back, not because of the story and how. I don't give a shit.
You didn't feel one little thing about Otto make a sacrifice?
Hold on, wait. Leave this out. Not a flying.
F. Okay, listen. Also, the backup, because for your $3.99, you also get a free reprint of Black Widow #1.
But it's not important because Peter Parker is back.
But just so you know,
you do get a double.
You do get a double. So, kudos, guys.
All my Spider-Man people out there, this is the time we've been waiting for. Marvel, don't do this again.
At least not for a decade. Till they do it again.
I want to be senile and not have to read it and go through this pain.
So Crystal wants at least 3 decades, because at the rate she's going, that's what's going to take.
3?
Yeah, because your hip and your knee are already blown. What else do you need to go?
In about 7 years, I'm not going to
well, unless you get that really messed up combo where you're totally functional and with it, and you could just barely move, and you're like 70, and you've just been that way.
That's terrifying. Let's not even.
Let's not even joke at that.
No.
God forbid. God forbid. It'll be Amanda Waller.
It's a one-shot for $4.99, and it's a good action story.
Yeah. But it's mostly an action story.
It's all an action story.
No, it is. I mean, there is a little bit of like content. I mean, there's good content.
There's good content, but
not a lot of backstory. I wanted more.
No backstory. It's like that's it.
Like Lois has gave us more backstory.
Yeah,
much more.
It's an action story with like 2 lines talking about the Suicide Squad, and then that's it. I don't think it's worth $4.99.
It was okay, but
if you like Suicide Squad, maybe.
If you're a Suicide Squad fan, it was good, but.
But it's not.
I mean, I felt like we got a throwaway villain, a throwaway story. I would have
a throwaway book.
I don't want. Yeah, I would have appreciated more if we got a lot of more.
Let's phrase it this way: if I still bought comics like I used to, but everything
in the same manner, because we're technically getting trades.
Yes. And then I went through my boxes to see what I really wanted to keep later. This would be a book I would pull out and be like, okay, donate this to the VA, donate this to...
Oh, not the VA.
Well, not the VA, but...
No, definitely not the VA. I'd give them something like Silver Surfer.
Definitely not this VA. But that's what I'm talking about. And donate the books to kids who can't read or shit like that. I am cursing a lot tonight.
Kids who can't read or shit like that.
That is what I said.
Maybe to a library, or just send it straight to a recycling bin. If I were going to give something to kids who need like encouragement reading, I'd probably want to give them something better. And much better.
Yeah.
God, I don't want to rip this apart because there's people I like who worked in this book, like Scott Hanna. Okay, I'm just going to end it at that, and we're done. We're done with this book.
This paid their bills for a month.
It probably did, and God bless them all.
And we moved on.
We're moving on. We're moving on.
What are we moving on to?
Well, I want to cover something old that I didn't get to in a while. So here's Justice League 3000, issue 4, which like I had missed. Which there's a big reveal in this issue. So like this like future Justice League, it's revealed that they're like this weird parasitic thing. That's what's happening. They're not the Justice League of old resurrected, and they're not clones. They take regular human beings, they insert a parasite into them that replicates the DNA of the Justice League members over the DNA of the host.
Oh, it's like a weird zombie type thing.
Yes, and that's how they're getting their Justice League members. Because Flash died in the last issue, and in this issue he's resuscitated. And then they're like, oh, and by the way, you have a new team member, Firestorm, which means that not only did they do it to create this team, but they've done it again and made a new member, which means they're going to keep doing it. And the twins who work for Cadmus, does that mean that they're in on it or that they're being forced to do it? Why are they doing it? They seem like good kids, but you're killing innocent people, or even if they're volunteering.
Are they killing them? Or?
Yeah, they die because your DNA is being overridden by the DNA of Flash or Superman or Wonder Woman or Green Lantern.
But they're not dying. They're just DNA is being replaced. So
completely and thoroughly.
But that doesn't mean their heart and brain stop functioning. So technically...
I know, but you're not who you were, so that's death. Your DNA is overridden.
We're good.
It's overridden.
Now we're getting to like...
I mean, Crystal...
What makes a person alive?
Yeah, to me, that's death. Crystal, if I said to you, Crystal, I'm going to inject you the DNA of Wonder Woman, you're going to be the new Wonder Woman, you'd be like, that's awesome, right? And then I do it, and then you have no recollection of ever being Crystal. You're just suddenly think you're Wonder Woman.
That means I'm gone, but technically I'm still alive.
Physically.
Physically.
But your DNA is not even your own anymore.
So then my soul is dead.
Yeah?
But my body is not dead, so...
Let's call the woman up for the train with the Bible and find out what she has to say. Right? That question's up for her. Anyhow, for a book I was like not feeling right away, which God forgive me, Keith Giffen and J.M. DeMatteis, who I love. You finally sold me. This was the issue. Everyone jump on board, except unless you really like Legion of Superheroes, and which this is not the replacement for that book, and don't you dare fall for that. You keep writing to DC and tell them to give us a goddamn Legion back. But this is a pretty cool book.
Let's talk about a not a pretty cool book.
Aww.
Do you know what book I'm going to pull out of here?
I don't know. I'm nervous. Ew. Gruesomes.
Okay, so I'm going to offend... Everybody. For all you sick fucks who read Crossed and those crazy titles, here's another book for you. Revenge. This is number 2. It's gross. That's all I really want to say about it.
You know what's really messed up on the back?
That it's
the classic.
The classic one, and it doesn't even compare to what is inside this book. That is all I'm going to say.
It's so weird.
For all you people that are crazy and like to read that crazy, sick, you can't sleep at night stuff, this is a book for you.
I'm so glad you went that route. Because I'm going to bring up a book that's for people who really like that sick stuff. For the people who actually do produce Cross, not Image, it's the Uber Special #1.
Now, is this like a book you can open up and not want to throw up because of the images? Because that's what happened with this book. I was like,
it's a yes and a no. There is actually more story and content here.
because that was just.
Okay, so going back on Uber, as we may have covered before, because it really, Karen Gillan is the one writing it.
Yes.
So even though it's ultra violent and gory, there is a lot of content and story.
Can I open this book? I didn't open this book.
Okay. There is. I'm just that there is.
I am pre-warned.
Yeah, you are pre-warned. Okay. But this special essentially takes the 3 archetypical villains of the story from the Third Reich, who have the superpowers, the Uber, and it's their origin stories. Because every villain has an origin, just like a superhero.
Okay, I would like to point out that this is not. There are certain pages in here which are a little ridiculous, but it's not the first 2 or 3 pages in your face.
Right.
You have to read some story and then you get some.
Right. It's the violence is happening, but the violence is happening in the context of the story.
Yeah, it's not just violence for violence.
Right, which I think is why I've always felt a liking to this title. I know there's the gore and stuff is happening, but it happens within the context of the actual story. It's a special usually tends to be a filler issue, or actually gives you some really good content and adds to the mythos of whatever it is you're reading. This actually added something and was really good. In contrast to the Amanda Waller one-shots.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
as much as I make those comments about Hitler, Nazis, whatever, I don't want to talk about it too much, here is a book.
Well, we are going to talk about it.
Well, it's going to come up again with Deadpool, but, this fits that context. They are what they are. The setting is World War II. I have been enjoying the central storyline very much, and so for you adult readers out there, it's very good.
Adults.
Mature
Not
adults.
Your kids read this shit.
No, please don't let your especially the back cover, ew. So yeah. It's a good read. If you've been following it, the special's worth it. If you're new to the series, the special is a good introduction just to the villains of the story, because obviously there's
The Nazis are villains.
I know, but there's a psychosis behind everybody.
Okay.
So even the villains, you
Have
see
villains within the villains.
right, you see what went wrong in their lives that made them this twisted super creatures that they are. So certainly check it out.
So we're already talking about Hitler and Nazis. Let's talk about Deadpool. This issue was really good.
It was really good.
It was done in old school print, the art, and I really liked it. I thought it was cool. And basically,
Deadpool 26.
we get into the story in the beginning, and we're during the 40s with Hitler, and time travelers keep coming back trying to kill him, but he beats them off, and is what
With both hands?
Yes. So this one particular time traveler comes, he kills him, and he leaves behind his time travel device. So Hitler now becomes a time traveler, and he's off to kill his biggest rival and enemy, who happens to be Nick Fury. So that's where Deadpool comes in. We go to Deadpool in a bar. Nick Fury walks in, and Deadpool is this suave, spy guy sitting in the corner predicting all Nick Fury's moves. And Nick Fury's like, how do you know this? And then Deadpool tells him, well, I'm here to save your life, basically. And he's like, I'm not your enemy, I am your enemy, or something like that. And I'm here because I'm going to be impartial, and we can't change the future too much, but we can't let you die, and we have to kill Hitler. So you move through the entire story, and it ends in the end with them killing Hitler. And then in the time period they are, which is not the time period of where Hitler shouldn't be, and they end up just riddling his body with bullets,
and not without an appearance from Cable.
And Cable shows up. He's somehow involved in this, helping. They kill Hitler, and they're like, well, we can't leave him here. He's got to go back to his time period. So Deadpool brings him back to his time period and puts him in a cell. And he pretends he's Hitler, and he's like, oh, I can't take it anymore, I'm going to end it all, and they go bang. So his Nazi guards open the door, and Hitler's in there, and he's just destroyed bullets, and they're like, the Nazi guards are like, this wasn't suicide. And then they run out of the room because it's like the end of the war, and they're like, we don't care, we're just getting away from him because we don't want to die. And that's it. And I told you the entire story, but you really have to read it 'cause it's funny. I really liked it. It was a refreshing Deadpool story from the usual. I really liked it.
Where can I drop you off from Deadpool? Somewhere I can relax, but something exotic. How about the swinging 60s of Wakanda? Oh, oh,
Deadpool, we love you.
Oh, Deadpool. Deadpool.
So,
Alright, so...
Hitler and Nazis.
Oh my goodness, Hitler and Nazis. Alright, we've got all of Hitler and Nazis out of our system. But speaking of like darkness and terrible and ruling planets and all that, First Contact Part 4, Huntress Power Girl, World's Finest, number 21. They got a doorway open home, but what Luke is coming through, it's Darkseid possessed Superman. It's a badass issue. So Superman and Batman and Huntress and Power Girl have teamed up. Huntress and Power Girl are desperate to get home. The doorway home is open. That weird dude who has that creepy seduction thing going on with Power Girl is there. And he's all like, no, I'm the master, I'm a Gamora, and blah, 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 blah. And Power Girl's like, I don't care. Yeah, I keep getting the Karen's mixed up. And she's like, I don't care, I just really want to worry about going home. But Earth 2 is like so in flames and horrifying, thanks to Darkseid, mind-controlled Superman, that, they're not even sure what world they're going back to. So the whole gang fights together side by side to stop from going back. Karen almost makes the biggest mistake in jumping right through the portal, and Huntress essentially stops her, and she's like, why did you do that to me? She goes, because you didn't know what you were doing. That guy would have eaten you alive. And she's like, no, I used my superpowers. I saw through that portal. I know that was our way home. And the girls are going to figure it out, and do they want to get home and maybe try to make things right when whatever's going on over there? And they clearly didn't see any signs of hope, because they certainly didn't see what's left of the heroes. And it was a pretty cool issue, and I love the interactions with Huntress and Batman here. It was excellent, especially because, as far as Huntress is concerned, the only real Batman was her dad. Aww.
So you read Flash?
I did not read Flash.
Alright.
I'm waiting for the new team, so we can just start eating them alive together.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the new team as well. So, Flash 29. The art is the reason you will buy this book. It's Augustin Padilla, and I really like the way he draws Flash. As for the story, it was very, how did I say before when I was reading it out loud to you? It was very, like very militaristic and inline, and just...
Do you think they were just trying to wrap the story up because they knew the new team was coming?
It was weird. Everything just aligned too perfectly, and then Deadpool is possessed by...
you mean Flash?
Yes, Flash is possessed by... Who's he possessed by? It was a little confusing as well. That's why I'm looking at it again. He's teamed up with Deadman. And hold on. I didn't do my homework very well. Bear with me, guys. Sorry. Bad podcast, girl. Bad podcast. Oh, the Keystone Killer. Okay, so the Keystone Killer possesses the Flash, and he's telling Deadpool after the fact. He's like, I vibrated at different frequencies, and I was able to trap him in my body, and then
Flash
says to Deadman, you provided me with this house. There's a floating house in here.
The House of Secrets. Or House of Mystery.
And now I was able to put him in. It was just... It was weird.
What are they doing?
Is
that all Dungeons and Dragons out there?
Weird, it's a weird Flash issue. But the art was pretty. We're waiting for the new team. Oh, here's the thing I was talking about. The Scribble Knots Unmasked. I don't know.
With the little toys.
With the little toys. So, do you not get these toys when you buy them?
No, you just get the game.
Collect them all. Minifigures.
Yeah, but the based on the video game.
Oh! oh, so the toys are sold separately. They should come with the game.
You would think.
Because then I would buy the game and not play the game and just get the toy. So therefore, I should just buy the toy. But I just feel bad about that.
Yeah. You kind of be like, why do you have the toys and not the game?
Yeah, because then I'll be like, oh man, I wish I had the game.
Especially in the game, you could like build whatever you want.
Oh my god, I need this game.
Because then you could like build those little guys. So you can run around.
Comic books.
Comic books. Alright, so New Avengers 16.1.
Not a number 1, as it says on the top of the book.
No, but certainly 8.1, and certainly a closer to a jumping on point. There's a quick explanation of what's been going on in the book so far. And as we know, worlds are being destroyed. These Dark Avengers, Illuminati-based Avengers, are trying to stop it. And Reed has this thing called the Bridge, which lets you look at other worlds and see how they've been destroyed and how they've been trying to fight the threat, etc. So this bridge so Namor and Black Panther look at it, and they see a world with a group of heroes that's not unlike the Justice League, even though they face their fair share of stuff. And their league is actually called the Great Society. And I actually felt like they were a blend of the Justice League and the Justice Society anyway. So,
is this book good?
It actually was pretty good. And a little creepy, and I'll get to it. Okay, so you've got the Rider, who I guess would be like Batman, Dr. Spectrum, kind of like Green Lantern, Boundless, like the Flash, the Jovian, like Martian Manhunter, the Norn, who's like Dr. Fate, and Sun God, basically Superman. And anyhow, they have their weird tower or whatever, but they do not want their world destroyed, and they're well aware of these incursions happening, and they use their abilities to stop it. But there is certainly a level of sacrifice, and basically Namor and Black Panther witness it, and they're like, wow, that was really different. I was just really interested in the variant characters and the use, and for 0.1, it was good because it still set up the story and set up what they were doing, and then of course you watched this alternate Earth story. And actually the alternate Earth was Earth 4,290,001.
How did you remember that?
It just was such a funny number to remember. I couldn't help myself.
Keep going, because I have 3 more books and you have a fistful.
I really do. So Teen Titans number 29, we're catching up to them. We basically, they wrap things up in their bizarre little future ride. Poor Bart and his little girlfriend were just tossed off into freaking space.
Those muscles are beastly.
Yeah, well, that is Wonder Girl. And Robin, basically kisses Wonder Girl, and they get sent home with Raven, and they find Bunker and Beast Boy under assault at their, Titans HQ, under assault by Harvest. So check that out, and we know this title is going away, and I really, really, really hope we get a better resurrected title. Look, it's Superman 29! Superman vs. Starfire, which fortunately wraps up very quickly. As far as Superman fighting Starfire, it's ridiculous, because I thought that was ridiculous. So Superman and Starfire, Starfire's like, look, that doorway that opened above the sky, I know what it's about, and it turns out it's the Daemonites. That Wildstorm series.
This looks familiar.
Oh, that shows up every so often. So it's the Daemonites. They're back, and they're possessing people, but now there are Earthlings who willingly allow themselves to be possessed and give up their lives to Daemonites. And this is ticking Starfire off to no end, because she's like, what is wrong with humans willingly giving themselves off? And we also find out that Blackfire, her sister, is working for Hellspawn herself. So, yeah, the Wildstorm villains, are back in effect, even though the other Wildstorm characters don't seem to be anywhere around.
I want these.
Didn't hate it like the way I expected it to. Next up, Sandman Overture number 2. So it looks like traditional Sandman is back, and he know. I mean, I was a little confused, number one, because they weren't. I wasn't sure which Sandman version we're dealing with, but it looks like it's the classic Neil Gaiman Sandman. Sandman is back. He knows he was murdered, why he was murdered, and he wants more details. In the first issue, he like summoned all the other Dreamings and kind of like try to like figure out what's going on. And that's essentially what goes on here. He wants to pursue his creator, find his father, put it all together. Why is he back? Yep, number 2. And
it just looked weird from here. It looked like it was 3D.
yeah, and the dreaming of and he's joined, and I know it's a spoiler, but he's joined by the dreaming of cats, which only had 1 issue in the original series.
I've never read Sandman. I know it's a big deal, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, there's 1 issue of Sandman that deals with the cats and their dreams.
Okay.
And these cats are oppressed, and there's the dreaming of cats, and like it looks like Sandman as a cat. And as you find out here, it's just another variant of the dreaming.
Are these things I should pick up, Sandman, the old ones, and read them?
Yeah, they have a million beautiful editions you can enjoy them in. So you could get them in the leather covers or the big cool.
How about the affordable? I'm going to read it.
Well, like I said,
How many are there? There's a lot.
if you did it by trade, it's a lot and a little hard to find. If you did it by the newest hardcover, there's more pages in the newest hardcover and less of them to purchase, so the price ratio is roughly the same.
Okay.
If that makes any sense
It
to you.
did make sense, yeah.
So I kind of like the new ones because they're like really cool. They look cool like an album
You don't know
cover.
off the top of your head how many there are?
Of the last set they made of those hardcovers, I don't, but I know they're easier to collect and they kind of look like album covers and they're really cool when you're holding. Except when you're holding them, obviously it's a big old book.
I will have to get off eBay.
Yes, or just look for the old trades. So yeah, I like that, and I'm kind of gonna just jump through a few. All right, I checked this out. It's a good wrap up to the series. I wanted to love this series. I felt it was missing some things. I didn't like
What is it? Is that
the rogues.
Is that a monkey?
That's Gorilla Grodd.
Okay.
I wanted to really enjoy the origin of the rogues, or I don't like what they did with the origin of the rogues here. I don't like them super powered and stuff. I don't know. It was a good wrap up. I wanted to enjoy the series more. I don't know how I feel. Yeah, look, Larry Hama, G.I. Joe, issue 200 from IDW. Check it out, fans. Speaking of Neil Gaiman over there and Sandman, Dead Boy Detectives, this pretty much wrapped up the storyline for the most part. It was really good. And then something really different and interesting just for the heck of it.
I like the cover.
And the cover is cool. Alyssa Milano, Colin Kelly, and Jackson Lansing.
Alyssa?
The Alyssa Milano.
She's writing the
Hacktivist.
story, or?
She's behind it. And it is Archaea. Archaea, who also gave us, oh my god, what Archaea gave us, oh, why am I forgetting everything? Stormweather Immortal and, I'm blowing this. I feel so, anyhow. Archaea and Black Label are bringing this to us. And, of course,
The covers are really neat.
and Marcus 2 is involved, and I've met him. He's really good. The cover is excellent. I just appreciate the quality. The story is really good. The art is pretty decent, and just pretty much catch up on it. It's really funny because this girl basically reaches out for a rescue, but she's expecting like a whole team, and that's not really quite what she gets. So just go check that out.
Ooh, what do you have in your hand?
Regular show number 11.
Where we left off, we were playing Pogs, and Rigby was taken over by the spirit of the 90s. We continue that story with a lot more 90s characters.
90s.
And it's a cliffhanger book. We still have Pogs. I think we have some Gak. We have Trolls.
Troll dolls.
Troll
But they're
dolls.
trolls.
Tamagotchis. I saw old school Nintendo in there. I love the regular show. That's all I'm going to tell you about it. Because it's really all it was about.
And the girls have a backup.
So,
Girls get a backup. I love it.
next book, Bravest Warriors. I love this book, but this one wasn't.
And more time travel. It's a time travel kind of week.
It was time travel week. I only read a few pages of it because we were running out of time tonight.
She was in the mood, all that wine.
I didn't have a lot.
It was a lot of wine. She kept making me fill her up. Topping off her glass.
Ridiculous.
Whatever. Oh my God, Crystal, really, look at the cliffhanger.
Maybe I should have read this. Alright, so that face, good cliffhanger. I'm gonna have to go back and read this. I'm sorry I didn't.
I think if you like Famous Warriors, you're gonna just have to do it.
Okay, so let's see what I got in my hand. Did you read this?
No, but it looks like it could be good.
It was excellent.
Yay.
Batman, Dark Knight. We have the Man-Bat serum. Batman knows who it is. Everybody kind of knows who it is, but they can't stop him. So.
Is it Kirk Langstrom or no?
Who?
Kirk Langstrom.
Yes.
It is.
So, Batman has an antidote, and he tried to inject the Man-Bat with it, and when he did, the needle broke, because the Man-Bat's hide was too thick. So he goes to his son, Batman goes to his son, and says, "You gotta help me," and the son basically says, "No." So, I'm gonna spoil this book.
Okay.
Should I spoil it?
Okay.
I'm spoiling it. Warning, I am spoiling this. Batman takes the, basically, the Man-Bat is preying on homeless people, and Batman knows where he goes. It's a specific shelter. So Batman injects himself with the antidote, goes to this shelter, dresses up as a homeless person. Man-Bat comes, attacks the homeless people. Batman gets them all to safety, and then kind of sacrifices himself. Man-Bat bites him and sucks his blood, and Kurt turns back into Kurt, and he's arrested. But then he gets off on temporary insanity, and he goes free, and he basically says, "I'm rich, and I am just trying to get rid of people that don't deserve to be here." And he's just an asshole. And that was this book. It was a good book. Good Batman story. Hey, you're reading the part where he's basically, "I'm gonna do what I want because I'm rich." And Batman says, "I'm gonna be here to stop you." The end. So we're gonna start a new series, new story, not new series. Okay?
This was rough.
Yeah, it was a rough book. That's why it was good.
And also, well, yeah, but I'm really surprised. I'm not. I mean, this is not the Dr. Langstrom version I'm used to.
It was a good book, and once again, the artistic value of the book was wonderful.
And a little up and down. The art is Ethan Van Sciver and Jorge Lucas.
Some of the, like that Batman you're looking at, the 2-page spread,
Is Ethan.
really great.
And then we go into
And then we go
Jorge's.
into the it's kind of rougher, chunkier.
Although it's not bad. It could have
No,
been
it
awful. So
It's not bad.
fortunately, it's well handled.
So, did you read Silver Surfer?
I did not.
Okay, so the art in this book, it's Al Reed. All red, actually, it's all red. That's how you say his name, right?
All right.
So it's a unique, excuse me. It's a very unique art style. It's very 90s pop, dot board. It's very chunky. It's not the fine lines and details. So it stands alone in its own category. So I can't say I don't like it, because it's not bad. It's just its own thing. You know what I'm saying? The story was weak for number one. Silver Surfer fans are gonna like it, but Silver Surfer feels bad for all the planets he helped Galactus kill, so he's atoning now, and that's the whole story. I'm not gonna get into details because if you want to read it,
Which of course is like I'm like we've done this with Surfer before, but okay.
But it's number one for $3.99.
Okay, it falls into the right category.
So there you go.
I think it's a good setup.
Let's do my last book. Do you have any more books?
Nope, I piled everything out.
Oh, actually, I want to have a conversation about Image, because they had a number one this week that I'm not even going to review because I hope it wasn't even good. But they had a number one. Now I have to do it.
Well, they try to do a little something all over the map. Oh, I also picked that up for a second.
What's it called?
Dead Body Road.
Dead Body Road. this is my conversation I want to have about Image. I don't even want to talk about this book because it's a piece of shit. It's toilet paper. But I think
They're not all gonna be gems.
I know. This is what I want to talk about Image. Like, what is going on? We haven't had anything good from Image in a while. It's like they had Walking Dead, and now they had Super Dinosaur,
Kirkman, Invincible, Kirkman.
Invincible, and then a Saga.
Okay.
Right? Now what else? Everything else is just kind of like.
They've got Seven's Dragon, which has been them and Eric Larson forever.
It's just nothing new is coming out that's good. What the hell are they doing?
I feel every so often they take a chance. I feel like this is something they took a chance on.
I think they're taking too many chances because
I don't think it's too many. I the level of consistency, I agree with you, certainly not there. But I do feel every so often they're like, all right, guys, we're really going to give you.
It's not often enough. They're not in DC. They're not a Marvel. They can't just repeatedly put all this crap. Like.
Yeah, but but you got to keep in mind.
I mean, it's still $2.99, so it's not like it's a big jump. But
let's see.
It just I read halfway through and it just didn't get better.
Well, it is.
The story has been done before.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think it's because it's Justin Jordan, who people are really hot on right now. But and again, I love Greg Rucka, but I'm really hoping Veil #2 takes me away because #1 just didn't do anything for me.
So that book sucked. But there was another book that came out. It was by Dynamite this week, called Turk Dinosaur Hunter. You're laughing at me.
No, I'm.
You're laughing at the shitty Image book. All right, we're talking about Turk the Dinosaur Hunter. It's a blank
These
cover.
are really talented people in this book. Why? Go ahead.
Turk Dinosaur Hunter. I had the blank cover. I think there was a regular cover. We ran out of them at the store.
Yeah.
But
It had the semi-classic pose. Actually, is the real cover on the inside?
Oh,
the real cover is there.
Inside. So here, Turk the Dinosaur Hunter. It was
Now,
really
what's
good.
funny is this is a knock on the classic Turk
It's really good.
cover,
I love dinosaurs. That's probably why I liked it.
even though there is mortal enemies.
That's fine. That's fine. I love dinosaurs. This book was good. Pick it up. If you know what it is, you know what it is.
I'm really hoping the Dynamite revamped Valiant characters, who were really the Keystone characters, will play right into the Valiant revamped characters. I would be very happy. I really would. I'd be very excited.
Look what I found.
Oh no, what's happening? What's happening?
I found this just laying around. I don't know what it is, but I found it. And I want it. It has a free hat inside, which I really don't understand. Let's figure this out.
We gotta claim it somehow, right?
Look out for the free hat inside. This is an annual. It's hardcover.
Wow.
$7.99.
Oh, it is an annual.
How do I get this? Free masks. It has stories in it. It has Pokemon in it. It has games in it. Oh, here's the free hat. This hat looks like it's for a child. Maybe because it's for children.
Okay, maybe it's because you're gonna have to embrace that, Crystal.
Anyway, Pokemon, I found it. If anybody else knows anything about this Pokemon annual, this is the first I'm seeing of this, and it's obviously 214. I don't know if this is a new thing they're starting. I doubt it. Is Pedigree in the bottom? Have you ever heard of this?
I know I've seen other Pokemon products from them.
This is weird.
I haven't seen the annual.
You know what I didn't do? We'll end on this. I didn't do my toy.
Oh, well, of course.
I didn't do my toy of the week. So I've been eyeing these toys.
I'm sorry. This truck looks awesome.
I told you it was really good.
I can't handle it. As you know how I was looking at this, the disgust, and then I'm like, go Craig Pack.
That's why we walked into that like that. So I've been eyeing these toys because they've been coming in for a year or two now. The Batman Arkham City Play Art action figures. So
they're like super expensive.
They're
right?
super expensive. I think these sell anywhere from $50 to $150 to $200 each. They're extremely. This is gonna be really hard to see on the camera, so we're gonna try to get you a close up as we do with the comic books. So, but I'll describe it for you because it is amazing. Clifford. It is a sculpted toy that has so much detail in it that it looks like a drawing.
Batman's abs are so rocking hard. It hurts to look at them.
I don't think he had anything fattening to eat, and he just worked out for about 23 hours, and then dehydrated himself.
To perfection.
To perfection, and that is this toy.
And it's classic color. Oh, it's 70s Batsuit colors too.
Yes, it's a wonderful. He's got a billowing cape. He comes with I think he comes with hands that pop off. You put the hands on. He comes with a batarang.
A big gold batarang.
I mean, this is a toy that you obviously would not take out of the box, but if
Ever.
you're like me, who takes everything out of the box,
Because you're going to display it.
because you have to
I'd be like, look at my $50 toy. If you
because
touch
want
it,
to
I'll kill
display
you.
it, and because you want to play with it, that's what you do. I don't really mind that kind of things, but I like. Anyway, this toy. I look at them online. There's a whole series. I've seen the Joker. I've seen
Harley
Quinn. I've seen Catwoman.
Did they make Solomon Grundy? Why do I feel like they made one of him?
I don't know, but every so often the store will get one of these in because they're super expensive. But sometimes if you hit them up on eBay, you can get them really cheap. Well, really cheap being like $50. You know, it costs a store like $70 to buy them.
Practically.
But they do go anywhere from $150 to $200.
This is a Square Enix product.
A what?
Square Enix, they normally make video games.
Yeah, it's made by video games. That's what. This is a whole video. Arkham City.
No, I know, but those people are not related to these people. That's why I think this is so crazy.
Yeah, no, it's put out by like a video game company. That's why
Yeah.
it's like it's insane. These toys are really cool.
But Play Arts is related to that. Okay, so this is just a very
It's
a very intricate web of connections. But yeah, it's beautifully detailed. And
It's lovely.
man, I feel like, we're gonna need like 46 hit points when we walk out that door and need to roll a few d20s to get things going. Wow.
So we're gonna end on this.
Thank you for joining us.
Have a great night. You can get me at Dashing Taz. I spell it every time because sometimes it's not correct. DASHINGTAZ.
Find us on iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
We're on YouTube now. Have a great night.
Enjoy your week. Thank you, guys.